the tease there, Renee, was Bryce Harper's the most clutch athlete I've ever seen in my lifetime. I don't think it's close. As much as Nick Castellanos and Bryson Stott, the birthday boy yesterday, got all the accolades, Bryce Harper might have saved the Phillies season.
Yeah.
That home run yesterday to make that a game, to resuscitate 45,000 people to get back into that game. The dugout got life. You saw Castellanos turn on a pitch immediately afterwards. Bryce Harper changed everything, and we'll read some numbers about Bryce and the historicness of what he's doing. But my God, there has not been a better signing in Philadelphia sports history. Him and Zach Wheeler are it.
Yeah. Honestly, when you think about yesterday's game, in order for Bryson Stott to have the go-ahead 2-run RBI, in order for Nick Castellanos to book it from first all the way home and then get the walk-off, in order for all these things to happen, it starts with Bryce Harper. And we've talked about it before. Even back at the trade deadline, I remember us talking about, what does this team need to be able to go far in the playoffs? They need Bryce Harper to show up. They need Bryce Harper to help deliver. And unfortunately, opponents aren't pitching to him, and we know why. But for Bryce Harper, you talk about clutch, he is a guy that this team goes as he goes.
Yeah.
He drastically changes the game. 2-run homer, brings the game within 1, allows, after that, Nick Castellanos to get the tying home run. It starts with Bryce Harper. We saw him even earlier in the game. We talked about that great play he made at first, chucks the ball into the stands.
Yeah.
The vibes start to pick up even in that moment. So it's the little things that he does. And then when he has the ability to hit home runs, it directly correlates to success for the Phillies, especially come postseason time. You need him to find ways to give you good at-bats. This team goes as he goes.
Yeah, and I just want to flash this one graphic if Tyler is able right now. Tyler is battling all computers and all technology everywhere the last 48 hours. He hates it all. He's about to become... you ever see Office Space?
This is my villain origin story.
Yeah, this is the Joker story. In Office Space when they take the computer printer out and they, damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Tyler wants to, damn, it feels good to be a gangster to every piece of computer we have at PHLY. But here's the graphic, and it is Bryce Harper's greatness summed up in one picture, Renee. And we're going to read some of the numbers that Jason Stark put out, which are just mind-boggling. But with a minimum 150 postseason plate appearances, Bryce Harper is now just behind these fellas named Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig. I'll have to do some more research on the two of those and find out what they're all about, but they seem like they were pretty good at
sarcasm,
baseball.
for those that don't know Jamie's sarcastic tone.
And what's even more amazing, Rich pointed out in his morning newsletter, everybody sign up for the newsletter. It's awesome. No BS. If you just took Bryce Harper's Phillies postseason OPS, he's actually better than Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth.
Wild.
I just said that. I just said that.
He's the best player ever. Is what I get from this.
I just said that Bryce Harper's Phillies postseason numbers in terms of OPS are better than Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. That is a real sentence I get to say here on the show. That's pretty fun.
That's very fun, and that's something. You know what? It's when we're so close, especially when you look at the last few seasons, the World Series run, the NLCS run, and this current playoffs. You look at all 3 postseasons. Yes, it's so easy to get caught up in the frustrations because this team has absolutely taken us on a roller coaster emotionally. Yesterday was in itself chaotic, crazy, the highs, the lows. But when you really take a step back and you look at where has this team been amazing, it starts with Bryce Harper. I mean, you mentioned the numbers for him in the postseason.
It's incredible.
We're talking the best this is the biggest moment.
He's the greatest baseball player alive.
This is basically saying he's the best baseball player ever, guys. But the playoffs are where... this is where big players thrive. This is it. The 162 games are the appetizer, it feels like, when it comes to the playoffs. This is the main course. This is what you prepare for. This is what all the months are for. And when you have guys that step up in this moment the way Bryce Harper consistently can, we kind of take it for granted. And I'm glad you have all these numbers. I'm glad we're seeing all these numbers because this team is special. Bryce Harper is special, and they need to go, now that the series is split, and continue to build off of this.
Yeah, I can't think of a more clutch.
Go back the distance.
I can't think of a more clutch player. Like, I just can't. I'm a man. I'm 40. I can't think of somebody that's more
40.
That's more clutch. Like, you just have this supreme confidence in this guy. Now, if you just took his Phillies OPS in the postseason since he's been here, it's a 1.175. That is absolutely bat-ass crazy. I'm trying not to curse for you, Samsung. That is crazy to think about that. You know, I guess his, Nats numbers really dragged him down to, third all time. The guy really stinks. But Jason Stark from The Athletic, he's just one of the best when it comes to stats and rarity of things happening.
All the numbers.
Jason Stark is just, he's in Cooperstown. He's that good. Here's some of the things he dug up on Bryce Harper. Buckle up, because this is very horny stuff. He now has 12 postseason home runs as a Philly, all since 2022. That's tied for the most by anyone in baseball. The guy he's tied with, his long ball partner, Kyle Schwarber. Mm-hmm. Think about those two signings. They're the two franchise leaders in postseason home runs in such a short period of time.
Very short period.
His team has now won all 12 straight postseason games in which he's made a home run trot. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, Jason Stark says, via MLB's wondrous Sarah Langs, who we'll get to in a little bit because she is awesome, it's the longest postseason streak in history that the team has just continued to win with. His 32 postseason games with the Phillies, Harper has now rolled up a 327 batting average, a 727 slugging percentage, and a 1.170 OPS. Jason says, does that seem good? Well, here's how good it is. In the history of baseball, only one man has ever topped that slugging percentage in OPS in his first 32 games with any team. That would be Lou Gehrig, who slugged 756 and had a 1.262 OPS in his first 32 postseason games as a Yankee. That is how good this man has been. We'll get to Bryson Stott. We'll get to Nick Castellanos. But Bryce Harper might have legitimately saved the season, Renee.